into episode 48 of WCAT Chats, and we have a special edition on our hand. Coach Hicks is here with us ahead of a big playoff matchup coming up tomorrow. Coach, how are you doing? You really excited for tomorrow?
Yeah, we're excited because you get to this point in the year and you just you want to have the opportunity to keep practicing, and most importantly, to spend time around as a team. And so it's fun being in the gym, and it's the best part of the year for sure.
Mm-hmm. Well, that's great to hear, Coach. It's your first year here, a lot of new different stuff. And I guess what are some of the new philosophies and strategies you've kind of brought to the basketball program and kind of implemented throughout the season that's brought the best out of the team?
Yeah, it's a big endeavor coming in, and you're trying to meet your philosophy with where the team is, and so there's a little bit of back and forth to find what's the common ground of what's realistic, and we're so fortunate that our team has just done everything that we've asked of them as a staff. And they were hungry to be successful. They have the desire to do all the little things and the commitment. And I think most importantly, the thing that we've emphasized is this concept that you're part of something bigger than yourself, but that every day is important, and that you're building each day on little things, that so when the big things come, you've got a whole all the little things are what are important about it. And we have a mindset that we can only control certain things. We want to dictate as much as possible in each game and be prepared. And we know our guys are going to play hard and develop confidence. I think a big part of what we've tried to create is this year is really about building a foundation for the future. And we've got 7 seniors who have recognized that they're creating a legacy that's going to be here for a long time, and that they're going to be the guys that have built the foundation, which is the most important part. And with that, there's the basketball component. It's a game. There's a mental side to it. There's a physical side to it, and we want to be good in both areas. And so we've really utilized Coach Neal as our sports psychologist, and we do mental training as a team every week. And I think that's been a big part of making sure our minds are right and we're focused. We've had Coach Bless come in every week, and we do a yoga session, which helps get the meeting of the mind and the body. That our guys are getting, they're lifting in during the week, and then obviously the on-court stuff. So there's a big process with a lot of pieces to it, where it's a big puzzle and every piece is important for us.
Mm-hmm. And then you talk about kind of bringing in everything new this year with the motto, Meraki, and tell us kind of the backstory behind that, and how all the guys really bought into that.
Yeah, so Meraki is our motto, and so what we did on really the first practice is it's a players team, and so we said there's going to be something that we're going to come up with that it represents us for the season, and it's internal. And the homework assignment was every player got to come up with a word that they think would be a good word for the year. They came in, we went through them all, we voted, and Meraki ended up being the winner. It's a Greek word, and it's special to us. It's something that we know what it means. Now maybe a few more people do, but it's the way that it's special to our group. We say it every time we're in a huddle. It's important. It gets us focused on what we're part of something special.
Something special indeed, and just the guys out there playing with so much confidence, not afraid to take it to the rack, handling the ball in the backcourt so much, and just putting so much effort in this year. And we've kind of seen a large change of pace where they're playing to win, not playing not to lose. So I guess my question for you is, how do you motivate your players to just go the extra distance?
Yeah, I love that you all recognize that. That's the mindset, is we want to play to win, and we want to be the aggressor and dictate the game and make the other team react to us. And we have good players. They have spent a lot of hours in the gym throughout the years refining their skills, and it's one of those things. A little difference makes a big difference. But we also recognize, it doesn't matter who scores as long as we score, and that every piece on our team is important, and it's just as important the guy who's cutting hard, that's drawing to help defense to create an extra space for the jump shot, or the guys on the bench who are cheering. The guys on the scout team running stuff, and that everybody is going to get an opportunity to impact the game in a way, and that you see success and you realize it's attainable. It's not, we're not going to ever ask anybody to do anything that they're not capable of doing, but then there's the expectation that once you can do it, you need to do it over and over and be consistent in the success.
Mm-hmm. And then, coming in, everyone's like, oh, he's the guy. He competes with undersized players. How are you able to do that? What is that in your ideology or just in your coaching style that helps you compete?
Yeah, I think it's a mindset of, the game, the things that happen most you want to be best at. And those things don't take height or athleticism. It is getting to the right spot. It's passing the open teammate. It's being able to get the ball from point A to point D, either dribbling or passing. It's staying between your man and the basket and make him shoot over you. So it's a simple message, but it's a mindset that, like, we want to be the toughest team. We want to be mentally the toughest team every game. I think that's a strength of our group. And I think that was a big appeal of the opportunity at Westminster, is like every student in our building is used to being successful, and every student in every class, like, they want to attain and achieve success in so many walks of life. And so when you're wired that way, it's a little bit easier to say, all right, this is the advantage we have over every team, and we want to lean hard into that.
So many great people, so many great players as well, and you're rotating like 12 or so more players. So many people are seeing the floor. I guess, how have you been thinking through the different combinations and so many people getting opportunity to be on the court?
Yeah, I mean, that's a unique concept that personally I've never really done with the team, but we also recognize as a coach you want to play to your team's strengths. And the strength that we had this year was our depth, and we recognized that on day one. So it's like, how can we utilize the depth that we have on a daily basis? One, it's great for practice because it's super competitive. But when games come out, we took really the first portion of the year up through winter break, and we just rotated lineups, and we were trying to kind of get lineup data. We try to lean into analytics as much as possible, so we were able to look at combinations and then use that time to put a couple groups together. And so we've got groups that play two different styles really, and in it hopefully everyone's playing to their strengths, but it gives us an advantage over opponents where they have to prepare for different things. It's going to change the tempo of the game. They're going to have to we're going to dictate what goes on. They're going to have to react to us, which is important, and it wears teams out. And that we recognize that the third and fourth quarter we've rotated so many guys through that they're sucking wind and they're short on shots, and a lot of that's just because of the reps that come in earlier in the game as we're creating possessions and hopefully never allowing them to relax at all.
Mm-hmm. And I mean, one of those groups in particular, we see the 5-in, 5-out substitution that switch up the pace of the game. It's Carroll, Hausner, McCamey, amongst many others. Adams in there as well. So what's the story behind this Chaos Squad or Team Chaos? What's the name of it exactly?
Yes, Team Chaos we call them, and we put that in over the opportunity. It says the goal is they're going to play a 2-minute segment and try to create 7 possessions, which is playing really fast. And so when they go in, they're going to face guard, they're going to run and double, they're going to gamble, they're going to take chances. And then when we get it back, we're going to shoot quick. We want to have like a 10-second shot clock for that. And it's really to ramp up the pace so their guys are getting tired as we've got guys resting, but it's also playing to their strengths and their aggressiveness. And so the group, that was one thing we were able to look at different groups and lineup data over the first 11 games of the season to put a group that has a couple really strong, aggressive defenders. They have the ability to create chaos, which for us it's a positive. We know it's coming. For the opponent, it's not as positive because they're unprepared for it and they don't know what's going to happen. We kind of accept that it's going to be a little crazy and look forward to that. And again, it just changes the energy of the game. Frequently, it's amazing how many times opponents have had to call timeouts to we got to deal with these guys in a different way, and they are so good at what they do. And again, I think it's the important part of building a team is you find a role and a place for everyone to excel with their strengths. And for this group, Team Chaos has really been kind of the ignition to our season, really going to the next level.
And then you talk about using analytics and data to really improve the team. That's something that's really done at the next 2 levels, professionally and then collegiately. How have you been able to implement that here at the high school level?
Yeah, I mean, one, we're fortunate we have a great staff, and so we have 5 coaches on our varsity team, and so everyone has things that they're responsible for. We've got a great network of video that we are able to process, and so from it, we're filming practice, you film the games, you go through it, you look at, it's tough to get a large enough sample size because you're still kind of guessing because our season's just not long enough, but you're able to kind of create a big thing for us is 2-for-1s at the end of quarter. And that, we know that the data is going to show that if you can get more shots up, even if they're not the best shots, that over 4 quarters it's going to give you a point or two advantage. And so we're looking at every opportunity to gain an edge over the course of a game. We know there's going to be 65 to 70 possessions, and it's like, how many times can we increase the benefit to us? And we've leaned hard into it. We've also benefited greatly from the foul rules, where it resets at every quarter. So we kind of play the last minute and a half of each quarter, like most teams do. The end of a game, we'll rotate offense, defense. We'll foul if needed if we're not in the bonus, so we can set up. And again, we want to get 2-for-1s. Like, you try to get an extra possession every quarter. And so those things, along with internally, our coaches work with our players. What are good shots? The goal is to get a good shot, but that's different for each player. And there's time and score, and how many seconds are in the shot clock, and where at on the court are you, and have we had a paint touch? And it's looking at those things, the difference. Like, we know a paint touch inside out 3 is going to go in at a higher percentage than a kick it around the perimeter 3. And so once we recognize where we want to shoot from, you've got a green light to do it, but we just want to, and then we can kind of fine tune, like, hey, we recognize, like, certain guys might shoot better on one side of the court, and so it's like not shoot on the other side, but we want to recognize, like, these are really sweet spots for you, so let's lean into those.
And then you talked about the coaching staff. You pretty much inherited almost the whole staff coming over from Mount Pisgah. What's that kind of adjustment been like, and how have y'all really grown into such a cohesive group? Yeah,
it's been great because we had 3 returning, with Coach White and Coach Goodrow and Coach Searle, and then Coach Cat came on board this year, and so that gives us 2 new perspectives, 3, and it was great. You got the backstory on a lot of our players of maybe why things are the way they were, which was great to kind of get that historical data. And then my philosophy, again, it's you gotta be where our players are. You got to meet them where they're at, and try to push them to where I want to go. But like Team Chaos was something that was not a plan. That kind of grew organically as the season, as we're breaking down. And our coaches have been so great because they're committed. They spend a lot of time watching video. They work individually with players. They have scouts that they're doing. And so we divide up our scouts, and when it's that coach's scout, they're in charge. And so they're in front of the team. I think it's important that our team hears all 5 voices. They don't want to hear my voice all the time. They get tired of it. And so having everybody really, they all have responsibilities just as every player has responsibilities, where, again, it's a big puzzle and we all have a different piece to play, but every piece is really important.
That's great, Coach. And earlier this season, you talked about kind of meeting in the middle with this team, where they're at and stuff that they've done. So what are some of the things that this team has done well in the past and have been executing now? And then also, what are some upside surprises for this season?
Yeah, I mean, I think we have highly skilled guys. We have a lot of guys that can make open shots, and so that is a strength. And so with that it's just recognizing what's a good shot and what isn't is the biggest thing. Because if you're open, we have a lot of confidence you can make them. That was on day one, everyone can make open shots. But in the flow of the game, recognizing when it's open versus when it's not, or what's your last 3 trips have been? Have we got anything to the rim? If you've missed a couple, can you get to the line? And so it's just kind of a mindset of kind of looking at the flow of the game. And I think that's a big part of where Coach Neal and having our mental training on a regular basis has given our guys some one, they're vulnerable with each other, and they recognize they have to be part of each other, the good and the bad, and that comes with putting a team together. But they've also how to deal with some of the internal conflict of when you miss a shot, when things aren't going well, how you deal with it before it turns into something that impacts more our team. And so it's a mental state in a lot of ways. Our skill level was high. It's just how do we make sure to showcase the things we do well as much as possible. And then we're working on improving other areas. We knew rebounding was going to be a challenge going into the season just with our size and our opponents. And so that's been a daily emphasis. Coach White's kind of is our rebounding guru, and he gets segments for it. And a lot of it's a mentality, but it's like we're going to get better in that area, but we know we're never going to be great at it, but we want to improve in that area. And then we know our strengths, making shots and getting the ball to the open guys. Like we're not going to just ISO guys and let guys create. but with ball movement, we can get open looks, and again, so it's on twofold. You're leaning into the strengths, and then you're trying to improve the weaknesses.
What has it been like as the season's gone on, watching Westminster buy into the team, every game? I feel like there's more people at the House Center, and ultimately kind of culminating with that game versus Druid Hills, where that place was electric. What has it been like just seeing the whole school community buy into what y'all are doing?
It is fun because, it is when you're putting your heart and soul into something, you like to see people care about it. And for our players, those seniors, 7 seniors, where they're building a legacy, there's nothing better that they've done than to create an environment on our campus that basketball games are fun. Their senior year, we went 11-0. Hopefully there's a chance we could get one more home game, but 11-0 your senior year, you can't do better than that. But going from game 1 where we had, probably single-digit number of student fans to having a full student section at the end is, it's a great credit to who our players are, not just on the court, but off the court in the school, where their classmates have a connection with them, where they want to go see them perform in something that they love. Just like hopefully our guys are going to go and see the rest of the aspects of school when things are going on. They're going to be involved and they're going to be a part of that.
I mean, undefeated at home this year, just incredible, and the Howell Center just being electric, and people's performances, players' performances. It feels like on any given night, someone can just drop 15 out of nowhere. I mean, anybody on that court, and I mean that's why you bring them in the game and whatnot. And looking at some of the players, especially the young guys like Zayd and Nico, what are your thoughts on the future of this program and what you have in store?
Yeah, I mean, we want to live in the moment. It's a big thing. So we're worried about tomorrow much more than the future. But we are very thankful that and it was a purposeful, intentional thing. Is that we knew going into the year we had 7 seniors, but for the realistically long-term future of the program, if you just played those 7 seniors, we wouldn't be in a place to then grow next year. And so it was to kind of create this hybrid where the 7 seniors are super important. They're the leaders. They're going to be the foundation. But we also have to make sure that we have really 5 key underclassmen who play key roles, that they've got the experience, and so that next year they'll be the leaders, and we bring in new guys with them. And so all 5 of those guys have been really good, and they're going to keep working hard to get better. They've got a taste of success, and they've got an expectation of how you go about your business on a daily basis, on and off the court. And the expectation is that this is a starting point for future success.
Now, I mean, looking ahead to tomorrow with McDonough in the Nest on the road at 6 p.m., what are y'all seeing from a scouting point of view, but also from, y'all trying to extend the season and,
Yeah, our goal is we want to practice and spend time together on Monday. And so to do that, McDonough's really good. I think we're really good. And we believe that we're going to make this a game in the fourth quarter that's going to take some execution, and that our mental toughness is going to put us in a place that we're going to dictate the game. We're going to do some things that they're going to have to react to us, and we're going to really try to control the rhythm. And they're going to be more athletic. There's one of my favorite books is by Coach Pete Carrill, and he was the old Princeton coach for years, and he wrote a book that was called the Smart Take from the Strong, and that's kind of what we're looking at going into this game. Like, we're going to lean into our advantage, they're going to lean into their advantage. It's going to be a great game, and it's going to come down, you got to make some plays in a high pressure situation, and I think our guys are prepared to do that, and we're confident, and we expect to be practicing on Monday.
And then we ask this to every guest to wrap it up. If you give one piece of advice to a younger you, or even just a younger coach in general, what would that piece of advice be?
I think that the key thing to do is to be involved in as many things as possible. And that the more things you're involved in, you can take little bits and pieces of them. And for me, it's to be get involved in things that's bigger than yourself, where it's not, you have to interact with other people and learn from others.
Well, thank you so much, Coach. It's been such a pleasure to have you here on this podcast with us in WCAT Chats.
Yeah, and I mean, good luck tomorrow, and hopefully we'll be back, heading somewhere else the week afterward for some more basketball.
That sounds great. Thanks, guys. We appreciate what you do.
Thank you, Coach.